When we began this series, we wondered which match from the 2025 season would make it to our top 10. Remember, this is quite an exclusive list. We've curated a list of 10 from more than 1,300 T20 matches. But then we witnessed a thriller between two teams on either side of a very intense rivalry, one that saw some of the biggest and some exciting emerging stars play some incredible cricket. Of course, there was the added context of all that happened in the same fixture last year as well. And that's how the Bengaluru fixture between Chennai and Bengaluru found a spot in my list of top 10 contests in the Indian T20 League. This cricket season, I'm partnering with Big Basket. 10 minute ka naya naam. Just like the T20 game moves fast, so does Big Basket, bringing you everything you need, from farm fresh vegetables to electronics to apparel and more in just 10 minutes. So let's begin with a story of a match I'm sure not a lot of you would have forgotten about. Bengaluru and Chennai. Two cities not too far from each other on the map, but still in some ways quite different from each other. I wonder if these two cities were people and walked into a coffee shop together, what would the conversation between them be? Maybe the soil was always fertile for a strong sporting rivalry to develop, and the 18 years of the Indian T20 League it's developed to become one of the fiercest rivalries. Now, 2024 provided one of the most tense chapters of this rivalry when the two teams met in a virtual quarter-final that ended in a thriller, with Bengaluru taking the contest and marching into the playoffs. The circumstances, however, couldn't have been more different in 2025. Chennai was already out of the reckoning for the playoffs, and Bengaluru were almost there after having won 7 out of their 10 fixtures, one of which was a thumping win over Chennai at Chepauk, a first for the team since 2008. And yet, the Chinnaswamy was back to the rafters for the reverse fixture. After all, Chennai was down, and Bangalore sensed their first ever chance to do the double over them in India. The entire stadium buzzed with that excitement, even before the first ball was bowled. For Chennai fans, and they were there too in substantial numbers, the opportunity was to win it in Bengaluru so that last year's wounds could be healed a bit. The match began in a fashion very similar to the 2024 fixture, with Bengaluru batting first and getting off to a flyer. Virat Kohli, then with the 40-year-old du Plessis, this time with the 21-year-old Jacob Bethel, went hard at it from ball 1. The two looked untroubled until Bethel got out with the score on 97. A 200-plus total seemed very much in sight, but then came the dismissal of Kohli and Dhoni applied the squeeze. With just 12 balls left in the innings, it was on the broad, large shoulders of Romario Shepherd and Tim David to probably take the team close to 180. But then came the Shepherd show. 54 runs were plundered of the last 12 balls as the West Indian got to his 50 in a jiffy. 213 on the board after an innings full of power and muscle, and the Chinnaswamy crowd was back to its loudest. Surely, against a struggling Chennai, without Ruturaj or Conway or Rachin, 213 would be enough, they thought. But that was until a 17-year-old Mumbai boy unfurled his array of shots and got everyone asking, who's this boy? Ayush Mhatre, born a mere few months before the tournament began all those years ago in 2008, just chose the perfect stage and crowd to send a reminder that Chennai still have some juice left this season. And while Mhatre wowed the crowd with his range of shots, hitting 6 boundaries in an over to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar on the way, Ravindra Jadeja also joined the party. The duo put the pressure back on Bengaluru and brought the noise levels down at the stadium. But when their 114-run partnership ended, Chennai still needed 42 of 22. Quite a reasonable task at the Chinnaswamy, but that's when the drama began. Defal Brevis, who many would have thought was just the right man for the job, unfortunately fumbled. He was given LBW, and instead of choosing to review the umpire's call straight away, Brevis for some reason decided to go for a run. By the time the run was over, the 15-second window to ask for a review was also over. And remember, it was a dead ball, so there was no run anyway. Brevis was left with no other option but to walk back with the big screen showing that it would have been not out had he reviewed. So in comes Dhoni to join Jadeja. Remember, these were the same two men who were there at the crease the previous year in a similar situation where they couldn't finish. As luck would have it, it came down to pretty much the same equation. 15 of the last over, Dhoni on strike, Yash Dayal with the ball. But unlike the Dhoni 6 of the first ball last year, there was no big hit from the Chennai captain, who walked back on the third delivery of the 20th over, out once again to Yash Dayal. But just when you thought that the drama had ended, Dayal bowled a waist-high full toss that Shivam Dube dispatched for a 6 so massive that it went out of the stadium like it had the previous year and required a ball change. When reviewed by Dube, it turned out to be a no ball too. So can you imagine? Suddenly, the equations come down from 13 of 3 to 6 of 3. Now, on most days, Dube and Jadeja would be expected to win you the game from there. But Yash Dayal, well, he seems to be on a personal quest to bury the demons of that Rinku Singh over of 2023. And what he did with his next 3 deliveries went a long way in him doing just that. With a new ball in his hand, Dayal missed the Yorker but gave nothing away with his low full tosses, as Chennai could only squeeze 3 of those 3 balls to lose yet again to Bengaluru. The only time they lost twice to them in one season. The celebrations or the streets of Bengaluru would have been on until sunrise the next morning.
10 minutes, Andre.
Boys, big basket. 10 minutes, Andre, big basket. 10 minutes, Andre, big basket.
Big Basket, delivering in 10 minutes.
So thank you for watching and do subscribe to this channel.